Why does getting to the airport have to be such a dilemma? The driving, parking, finagling a ride. Well, if you take Uber, it doesn't. It's easy. Just install the Uber app. Enter your destination, confirm your location, and within minutes, a car will pick you up. Whether you're catching the red eye or taking off at the crack of dawn, you can request a ride 24/7. So avoid the hassle. Install the Uber app now and take your first ride today. Uber, the better way to get there.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody! It's Wild Wumble Day! Yay! My name is Ed, and when I was a little boy, I got a nickname, Special Ed, and it's still my nickname today. It kind of stuck. I'm a smart mouse. That means I know exactly about wrestling. I watch all the shows I've been watching since I was in school. I watch a lot of the shows anyway, and I read a lot of the dirt sheets. And I know what's going on, and I want to talk about wrestling. I started this show yesterday night on Blog Talk. If you're listening live, it's Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's 2:22 a.m. Sunday. Royal Rumble today. You can call in at 646-564-9993. I can't believe it's the Royal Rumble already. I'm so excited. I'm going to watch it on the WWE Network when I get up. I don't have a bedtime, and I'm awake at night and decided to do this show now. We're going to today talk about the Royal Rumble, and I also have a show last night where I talked about the Royal Rumble too. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a bell. You can't start the match until you ring the bell. Now it's official. This show is only 30 minutes long, but that's quite a while, so we got a lot to cover. I was just on OneWrestling.com. I get a lot of my information there. Bill Apter is the guy on the OneWrestling.com. He was the Pro Wrestling Illustrated guy back before. One of the things they're talking about is the Hall of Fame. And I've got a lot of opinions on that. There's a lot of guys that should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't. There is a link on the OneWrestling.com that goes to another website. It's www.thesportster.com. And on there, they gave their thoughts on 15 wrestlers that could be in the Hall of Fame that you might not have thought about. And, whoa, I just looked at the list. They gave almost none of them I had even thought of. But almost all of them I agree with. So I thought we should talk about it because you probably didn't think about them either if I didn't. I know a lot about wrestling. The first one they have, and they go from 15 to 1. The first one is named Stan Stasiak. Well, Stan Stasiak was a WWF Worldwide Wrestling Federation champion. But that was in the 1970s. I know about Stan Stasiak because he was from Oregon, where I live. And when he died in the late 90s, the Oregonian sports page put a whole story about him on the front page of it. His son also was a WWF wrestler. I think he was named like Meat or something, Sean Stasiak. But Sean Stasiak's not a Hall of Famer, but his daddy should be. The next one is they put the Great Muta. That's a good one, and I've thought of him before, but I hadn't thought of him lately. I remember Great Muta in the 80s in WCW, and he was pretty spectacular. He's from Japan. Then they have 13, a woman, Penny Banner. Whoa. I'm surprised she's not already in the Hall of Fame, and I checked the list, and she's not. They're right. It says on here that she grew up in St. Louis. And the next one, they always put a woman in each time, too. And the only other women I can think of, they talk a lot about China, who died recently, and then Elizabeth should certainly be in. But that's not this list. The next one, this list, number 12, is Dave Meltzer. Well, Dave Meltzer, he is the Wrestling Observer guy. And I find it hard to believe he'll get in the WWE Hall of Fame at all. But definitely don't think he will this year or next year. Number 11, Danny Hodge. I wasn't real familiar with him, and I know a lot about wrestling. But it says here, with all apologies to fans of Brock Lesnar, he's in the Royal Rumble, and Kurt Angle, Danny Hodge may be the greatest amateur combatant to make the jump to professional wrestling ring. He got a 46-0 career NCAA record and later became a Golden Glove in the heavyweight division. And it says, in fact, he was so outstanding at college wrestling's annual award for the top competitor. Their version of the Heisman Trophy is named after him. Whoa. I didn't even know that. The next one, number 10, is like a countdown or count up, is El Santo. I hadn't even heard of him. It says, there are legends, there are icons, and then there is El Santo. And he was an influential figure in the sport history of lucha libre. That's Mexican wrestling. And there might not be any more Mexican wrestling in the United States anymore. I don't know. His popularity transcended the wrestling world in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Girls, that way before I was born. Number 9, Tony Schiavone. I like that idea. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Number 8, Luther Lindsay. I never heard of him. He said some people consider Luther Lindsay to be the greatest African-American wrestler of all time. Just as many fans have never even heard of him. That's me. I've never even heard of him. It's talking about Canada and trained by Stu Hart. The next one is Koloff. I know who he is. The Russian Bear. The next one is the Rock and Roll Express. I've talked about them before and said they should be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Then there is Mr. Wrestling number 2. I remember a lot about him when I was a kid, probably from the wrestling magazines. Number 4 is Jeff Jarrett. Definitely should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, but sometimes business gets in the way. Sooner or later, he'll get in for sure. Number 3 is Cindy Woe. I don't think she'll be willing to go into the Hall of Fame because Donald Trump is in the Hall of Fame. But they put a celebrity in each time, and I don't know that there is a celebrity missing more than Cyndi Lauper is because of what she meant to WrestleMania 1. And that was the first WrestleMania. Number 2, Bill Apter. Whoa, we just talked about Pro Wrestling Illustrated and OneWrestling.com, and here he is. No wonder they put a link on there. Because he's number 2 on this list. Eventually, I'd see him getting in the WWE Hall of Fame for his contribution to pro wrestling. I think he'll get in before Dave Meltzer. I think that he's perceived as a more likable character. But if you put Bill Apter in, that opens the door for Dave Meltzer, too. Number 1, they put, I should ring the bell for this one. Let me ring the bell for this one. Number 1 is Eric Bischoff. Whoa. I think that's very likely that Eric Bischoff will get in the WWE Hall of Fame sooner or later. Kind of funny, though, because of what he did trying to put Vince McMahon out of business there in the 90s, that they would end up rewarding him with a Hall of Fame. But he deserves it for his body of work. I'm going to take a break and have a drink of soda pop. I'll ring the bell again. Oh, I mean, I didn't even get my soda pop. That's a quick bell. The number, if you're listening live on blogtalkradio.com, is 646-564-9993, and then you press the number 1 if you want to be on the air and talk wrestling. You could say, I know who's going to win the Royal Rumble, and we could talk about it. I don't know who's going to win. Some people think it'll be The Undertaker. Some people think Goldberg. If either of them win it, I'll say, what are they thinking? It shouldn't be part-time wrestlers winning the Royal Rumble. They should have the full-time wrestlers winning. We talked on my last show, but you might not have heard it yet, about who's in the Royal Rumble. So I went on the website and looked at all the matches. I'm going to look again by putting in Google WWE Royal Rumble. And then you can find a list that has all the matches for this year's Royal Rumble. It's not that I don't remember them, but I just want to be accurate for my podcast. They talk about the Undertaker being in the Royal Rumble. And, oh, brother, it says here, do you want James Ellsworth in the Royal Rumble match? No. I like that he's with Carmella, though. It's nice that Carmella's given him a chance. I'm going to the wrestling that WWE presents Monday Night Raw next Monday. Not tomorrow, but next Monday, the 6th of February. And I got good seats, and I want to give a hug to Bayley because she gives people hugs. I'd rather have a hug from Bayley than Booty-O cereal from New Day. Shawn Michaels is going to be at the Royal Rumble because it's in San Antonio, Texas, and he's going to be there on the pre-show talking about it. And he won the Royal Rumble before, too. Spoiler alert. I don't want to see predictions on here. I just want to see the lineup. Did you know that Sasha Banks is going to wrestle Nia Jax in a kickoff match? Whoa. I already knew that, but I watch a lot of wrestling and I read a lot of the dirt sheets. And I also did this yesterday, so I was looking then too. But Nia Jax, I think, will win. Sasha's hurt. The only way Sasha wins is by disqualification. Then they have another kickoff match with Cesaro and Sheamus, the tag team champions, against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And I think that Gallows and Anderson are going to win the titles, the tag team Raw belt title belt. They deserve it. I think they're going to win. I think there are too many title changes and too many title matches and too many titles. That's my opinion, and I think I'm right. I'm typing in again, trying to find the list for the matches. This is live, everybody. Here's the list I had last night. They have another kickoff match. That's a lot of kickoff matches. That's a 6-person tag match. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Naomi on one side against Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. Now, I listened to my show from last night, and I learned a lot of stuff. And I think you will too. But I want to correct something I predicted. I said I saw Nikki Bella pinning or making Alexa Bliss submit in this match. And then I thought about it, and I think I'm wrong. I said I think somebody should pin or submit Naomi in this match. I don't know who's going to win, but I don't think it'll be Nikki Bella making Alexa Bliss submit or pin. I'm going to predict Becky Lynch gets pinned. We'll see. I think it should be Naomi. Then we have the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, and this will be on the actual Royal Rumble. And that's Rich Swann versus Neville, and I predict Neville will win. The Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair versus Bayley. I'm a hugger. I like to hug, and I like Bayley a lot. I want Bayley to win. But Charlotte never loses titles on pay-per-view. I think Charlotte will retain the title. Sorry, Bayley. But I am looking for you at Monday Night Raw in Portland, Oregon, where I live, on Monday the 6th. And I've got good seats, and I want to get a hug if you will hug me too. The next one is WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens. He used to be called Kevin Steen. I know about the past. Versus Roman Reigns. Jericho will be in a shark cage. And I said yesterday, and I stick to it, that Chris Jericho is going to find a way to interfere, even though he's in that cage. And I think what will happen is he'll goof up and be a stupid idiot. I'm going to ring a bell on that one. That was funny. But I think that it's going to make it so Roman Reigns wins the title, and then Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are going to have a conflict, and then they'll wrestle each other at WrestleMania. I think so. You heard it here first. That's my prediction. And I said the same thing yesterday, too. Once you go back and listen to the archive. WWE Champion AJ Styles versus John Cena going to win. And I think it's a shame because John Cena, no matter what he says, is a part-time wrestler, and AJ Styles is a full-time wrestler. And they make it so back in the 80s and early 90s, before the Monday Night War, they made it so there were squash matches, and they don't do that like they used to. On Saturday morning, you could watch 6 or 7 matches with the mid-card guys against squashes. And they all looked strong, and you got to know their characters. And then when they would wrestle each other, which would be very rarely on a Saturday night main event, or at a live house show, or a rare match on a Monday Night Raw, or a pay-per-view, which they didn't have very many of either back then, by the way, really enjoy it because it was special. I lost my train of thought. Well, now it's almost like those squashers or jobbers are the main roster, and the people that beat them, the superstars, are the part-timers. I mean guys like Triple H, and John Cena, and The Undertaker, and Big Show, and Brock Lesnar, and maybe you would even say The Rock, and The Undertaker, and Goldberg. Okay, do you see what I mean? And now even you might, if Daniel Bryan didn't have a bad concussion and could come back, he would be in the same boat. If they brought him back for one match against The Miz or something, like they seem to act like they're doing, but because of the concussions, they can't do it. So he's not coming back. But if he did, they'd probably have him win. And it's the same timers they have put over, they win over the others. I'm a smart mark. I know what's going on. Then you have the Royal Rumble match itself. And there were 22 people that they announced for it already, so that means there are 8 more to be named. Some of them will be surprises, and some might not be. You'll get somebody from NXT maybe somebody from the UK tournament. I think the least likely to win out of the 22 is Titus O'Neil or Mojo Rawley. The most likely to win is The Undertaker. There's a lot of talk about him against John Cena at WrestleMania. It could be, I don't think it'll be Goldberg or Brock Lesnar because they may wrestle each other again at WrestleMania. I don't know. I think it's too soon for Braun Strowman. Maybe Baron Corbin. They like to talk about how he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania. I mean, more and more I look at this, the more I think it's going to be either The Undertaker or Dean Ambrose. Kind of like it's Dean Ambrose time to me. But maybe it'll be The Undertaker. Let's see. I need another drink. I'm going to ring the bell again. Well, you'd think there was a big problem and they were sending out a bunch of people from the back or something. They used to ring the bell many times when there was a conflict and the referees needed more wrestlers to come out and break it up. That's old school. Well, this is our second show, and I'm working without a format. I just like to talk wrestling. If you're listening live on blogtalkradio.com, the call-in number is 646-564-9993. If you would like to support our show and make it so we can go to more shows and get interviews with the wrestlers, you can donate money to the show at www.gofundme.com/specialedsmartmark. www.gofundme.com/specialedsmartmark. Whoa. I could do a show every day if I want to, but that might be more than I want to do. It takes a lot of talking, and I'm doing these shows by myself. I don't have a bedtime. I'm not want to tell you my age. I'm over 18, though. A lot of people think I'm younger than I am, and I'm okay with that. What else can I tell you about? We talked yesterday about Royal Rumble back in 1988, the very first one. Why don't we look and see who wrestled at the second Royal Rumble? That was in 1989. I'm on Google. I put in Royal Rumble 89 card, no spoilers. And up comes something called CageMatch.net. I like to look at that because it doesn't tell who won, and that doesn't spoil it when I watch it on WWE Network, even though I've seen this 100 times probably. Maybe not 100, but a lot of times. I used to have all these on VHS. Do you remember VHS tapes with a VCR? I miss that, but I like the network because I just push buttons and it comes out without finding the tapes in my closet. It says there was a dark match. That means it wasn't on TV. And what a shame, too, because it was very old. I just got the announcement we only have 90 seconds left. It interrupts me in my ear. But it was Barry Horowitz versus Jim Powers. Whoa. The other dark match not on TV was Sam Houston versus Steve Lombardi, who was the Brooklyn Brawler. Those both sound like good matches. The matches that we did see on the pay-per-view was a best 2 out of 60 seconds. I got to hurry. Best 2 out of 3 fall 6-man tag match with Dino Bravo and the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers versus Jim Duggan and the Hart Foundation. Women's title match, Rockin' Robin versus Judy Martin. Harley Race versus King Haku. And then the Royal Rumble itself. Whoa, that was one of my favorites. That's my favorite Royal Rumble ever, by the way. So we only have 20 seconds. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and tell your friends. Donate money at GoFundMe.com/SpecialEdSmartMark. This is my passion. I love wrestling. And I thank you. Let's ring the bell one more time.
Why does getting to the airport have to be such a dilemma? The driving, parking, finagling a ride. Well, if you take Uber, it doesn't. It's easy. Just install the Uber app. Enter your destination, confirm your location, and within minutes, a car will pick you up. Whether you're catching the red eye or taking off at the crack of dawn, you can request a ride 24/7. So avoid the hassle. Install the Uber app now and take your first ride today. Uber, the better way to get there. Why does getting to the airport have to be such a dilemma? The driving, parking, finagling a ride. Well, if you take Uber, it doesn't. It's easy. Just install the Uber app. Enter your destination, confirm your location, and within minutes, a car will pick you up. Whether you're catching the red eye or taking off at the crack of dawn, you can request a ride 24/7. So avoid the hassle. Install the Uber app now and take your first ride today. Uber, the better way to get there.